Again, it's back again. You know where we are, so let's get into it. So guys, hope everyone is enjoying themselves if they can as much as possible within obviously the requirements of health and safety in respect of what's going on outside. So if you're on lockdown, guys, don't take it too necessarily hard on yourself. Just try and do what you can and be productive as much as possible where you can. So guys, this is a quick rundown of Zara's website in respect of fragrances. For those that do know, we do over here review a lot of Zara fragrances, and also those that are more middle of the range type of fragrances that are slightly more, maybe costing around 50 to 60 euro, not necessarily niche fragrances as such. Now this is Zara's website, guys. There are a few sales and few things that are on discount or rebaja at this moment in time. So right about now, just gonna have a quick review through the website. I don't want to go through this particular group of fragrances from Joe Malone. I've done those reviews before, not particularly a fan, so I think I'm just gonna leave it there. Moving through, guys. Some of you guys have asked me questions like, what should I buy? I don't know which fragrance to buy. And you know, some of you guys have asked messages along the lines of, there's some things on sale, so which one should I get? Right. So just to quickly run through, I'm not going to go through every single thing on sale, but equally, some of you guys have asked questions, for instance, on this one, for example. So this one is Vibrant Wood. Again, it's not on sale, $19.99. Would I probably advise to buy it? Probably not. It just smells like Yves Saint Laurent La Nuit de l'Homme. But then again, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't have particularly long lasting power. It's quite heavy on the cardamom. It's okay. Worth $19.99. It's not bad, guys. It's not a bad fragrance, so I don't necessarily mind that one as such. But again, I just don't put your hopes up to expect that that heavy sort of cardamom sort of note coming from that one. So this, guys, is the first one. This is the Zara Vibrant Leather Summer Edition, $12.99, and it's a 120ml. I don't think it's bad, guys. I don't think it's bad, but ultimately it does smell like From Paris to New York. There's no real change to it. So if you're into Dior I think it's Dior Homme Cologne. If you're into that, it is what it is. It's just okay. It's not necessarily the how could I say? It's not necessarily the strongest of fragrances, in my opinion. Again, the lasting power is not particularly there, and I also find that it does smell a lot like how can I say? The note breakdown for me. Let's have a quick look again. Note breakdown: bergamot, ginger. I just don't find it a nice fragrance at all. It just doesn't work for me at all, guys. So don't really want to get into it. I've talked about it so much on different videos. I've done different reviews, so please just check that out. But for $12.99, I don't think it's a bad purchase. I don't think there's anything wrong with it as a purchase, but just bear in mind that, again, a lot of Zara fragrances seem to lack in respect of longevity. So now you got this one between Vibrant Leather Oud and Vibrant Leather, obviously with the summer edition, both at 60ml. I don't think this is a bad purchase, guys. $12.99. I think you're getting, you know, two fragrances for £66.50. I don't think that's particularly wrong or necessarily a bad purchase. So go and check it out. I don't particularly like the Vibrant Leather Summer, as I've just mentioned, but even if you were to get the Vibrant Leather just a 60ml, again, equally, it is what it is. It's not a bad fragrance, just the longevity is lacking. So I think that's a good pickup, guys, if you can go and get it now online. And then the rest, obviously, as we know, the normal Vibrant Leathers here and there, Vibrant Leathers Oud, and I've done different reviews on those ones. Again, I've got some theories about these decants seem to be probably stronger than the actual original bottles. I'm not sure why that is. It could be when the batch was done, but the most recent decants I have seem to be more along the lines of the older type of Vibrant Leather that had a lot more longevity and staying power. This one, however, I've not really purchased this because, again, it's only just decants of the other ones, the summer version and the Oud. Not particularly fans of either, but it is what it is. Moving along, guys, we get into a different group of fragrances, and these are the ones that usually cost around £10 or so, $9.99. Not bad fragrances anyway. I don't think I would even worry whether on sale or not, because they never really go over that amount. Lisboa does smell like Acqua di Gio, fantastic fragrance, and maybe somewhat dated to some extent now. It's not a bad one. And equally, if you were to buy, again, this double pack of Soul, which to me is probably one of the best fragrances that Zara released, but it is a clone of Invictus from Paco Rabanne. And then you've got Lisboa again, which is, as I say, Acqua di Gio. Chicago smells a little bit like, how could I say, Boss Unlimited, so you do get this sort of smell of a sort of pineapple sort of note going on there, slightly more fruity sort of note. There's no note breakdown on here, but I think it's one of those fragrances that it's not a bad one. It's pleasant, it just doesn't last that long. So you definitely need to be in a high heat for that sort of fragrance. And again, so same again. Now when it comes to the reduced fragrances, again, $9.99 for 2 fragrances. Can't go wrong here, guys. The summer version is very nice. It doesn't necessarily have a lot of longevity. Where in the original you might slightly get more of a spicy sort of cinnamon sort of note going on. They seem to have taken that out for the summer version, so it doesn't necessarily, it's not as base heavy in respect of the base notes. It seems to be more the opening notes seem to obviously be slightly brighter. So it's an EDT, it's a summer version, so you're going to get slightly more of a, how can I imagine it, like more of a grapefruit sort of note, I would say, compared to the original, which seems to be a slightly more middle of the road, slightly base heavy, as I say. Maybe get some floral notes in there again with some probably nutmeg, I believe, is in there as well. Again, 20% off, not bad fragrance. These ones, I mean, it is what it is, £3, guys. And if you're gonna kill yourself over £3, I mean, you know, it is what it is. Moving on, yeah, I mean, that's on sale. Again, it's no different. It's the summer version, no different from this. It's just different packaging. So you might as well buy it, have a go. I've got it in my collection. It's one of those fragrances that is just a so-so fragrance. These fragrances, again, not going to go through them all. Talked to them about before. Nothing's really changed with those ones. Silverman Spirit and Silverman Summer. Touched on these fragrances. The Silvermans, again, the summer versions, guys, they just seem to sort of lack a little bit of depth. So that's all it says. So it's saying that you've got notes of neroli, flower, pepper, sandalwood, then you've got lemon, cardamom, and sandalwood. So it's really sort of the actual Silverman's Man Silver smells like Gucci Guilty, which is in a silver bottle, and I've touched on those ones before. The actual, I don't have a bottle next to me of the summer version, but I have purchased it. Again, slightly more floral, peppery notes. It is what it is, guys. I mean, I've done reviews on them before, so by all means go and check those out. But it's okay for $9.99. I don't think you go wrong on that one. Again, same, just in a different bit of packaging, and then again it's itself in just a different bit of packaging. So it's not really anything to worry about. They're okay fragrances, you just cannot expect too much from them. When we get to the tobacco collection, there's nothing particularly on sale, so it is what it is. I've spoken about these before. Again here, nothing on sale. Best one out of all of them, guys, I'd probably say is Amber Ego, Smells Like Stronger With You, from Armani. And then coming along here, again, these seem to be pretty much the same sort of fragrances. For him, it's probably one of the better ones, and that smells like Le Mal Ultramal from Jean-Paul Gaultier, but at the same time, it doesn't have that level. That pear note doesn't seem to be so prominent in there. It's not as sharp, it's not as in your face, it's not as aggressive. Slightly more a mixture of Ultramal and maybe slightly more Dior Homme, with a little bit of that sort of lipstick vibe going on in the background, but it's not too heavy compared to either fragrance. This one I've touched about just recently. I think this is actually a good office scent. It's not on sale, but I do think it's one of the probably more consistent fragrances that Zara have released. This one has a bit of a sort of orange floral note in there going on. So you see it says nutmeg, orange blossom, cedar. So I think this is quite a good fragrance, guys, for the office. I've had compliments wearing this one, and I've touched on that in respect of the older bottles. These ones here seem to be slightly more sort of, how could I describe them, as molecule scents. So it says this collection is inspired by the rework of the synthetic molecules that are used in perfumery to make various fragrances. So in a way, it's sort of working with just chemistry to some extent, you think. They don't really project in the same way as a fragrance would. If you had a, I don't know, if I had, for instance, Dolce & Gabbana The One, don't expect to get that from these type of fragrances. If anything, these are more like, I'd say it's more based on skin chemistry in a different way compared to a normal fragrance. So if you're going to spray this, and say you to spray this cashmere smell, for example, you couldn't really expect this to project, I would say, in the same way as another fragrance that's quite layered with different elements in it. These are probably more, I would say, layering fragrances, so you may wear this with something else. You could try and wear it, maybe it works for your skin chemistry, but it doesn't really project in the same way as a standard fragrance would project. So these are slightly different type of fragrances, guys, so just bear that in mind if you're going to purchase them. Moving on, yeah, talked about these ones, 9.0, 8.0, I'd probably say that's probably the best out of all of them as a combination. And again, 8.0 has been probably reformulated since I've last purchased it, but because these are new bottles. But again, you get like a watermelon sort of note with these ones, which I think for the office it goes very well. Very nice fragrance, very pleasant fragrance, and it's one of those ones that's quite long lasting. This particular 11.0 doesn't really do anything, it doesn't last long at all. I've not purchased it because it took me, I was in the shop, looked at it, smelt it, within 5 to 10 minutes it already dissipated and actually gone, become a skin scent, and then it was gone totally within probably about 15 to 20 minutes. So I've not purchased it for purely that reason. It doesn't matter what the note breakdown says, it doesn't mean anything if it doesn't last longer than 20 minutes, half an hour. Just recently did a video on this one in respect of this summer collection, which I believe is actually probably the best one. So this is $9.99, guys. I would recommend you probably get a bottle of this if you can. This does smell like Boss Unlimited, but compared to the Chicago version, this one seems to be quite slightly heavier with this grapefruit note, slightly to some extent piercing grapefruit, but it's still a good fragrance nonetheless. I don't think it's a bad fragrance at all, and I think it is for longevity. It does its job. 8.0 doesn't really do anything. Again, I've touched on these fragrances, they're not on sale, not on sale. Now it's getting into slightly different sort of batch of fragrances. 9.0, Zara Summer. Spoken about these previously. Not bad. It's not bad. It's not really good for longevity. The best one for longevity is probably this one, but because it's got this sort of lavender note in there, it may not work for everybody to some extent. So bergamot, lavender, and amber. So to some extent, it's definitely a nighttime fragrance. It could be a little bit heavy for some people, slightly not aggressive, but slightly more masculine, I would say, when it comes to this particular fragrance. And then obviously you got the pack there that's on sale. So I think you're probably better buying that, guys, if you're really not sure and want to have a go. I don't think that would be a bad purchase in comparison to what else is out there. I think this is the worst one here. They've not even put the bottle up. That's how bad it is, in my opinion. It's one of the worst. Sort of smells like tar, and it sort of lasts on your skin in such a way, especially if you're going to wear it in a sporting environment. It's actually, I want to say, borderline repulsive. It's not a fragrance I particularly would recommend whatsoever. And yeah, and then we get into these fragrances, which probably like a last ditch attempt. This was an attempt at Invictus. This one I'm not too sure off the top of my head, I can't fully remember it. And this one was an attempt at Dior Sauvage. It is what it is. Don't think they were particularly good. These other ones here, I've smelt them, guys. I've just not bothered to get into them because there was just no longevity. Cool Highs is probably one of the better fragrances as well. That was released in 2019. And then what else have we got into here? White Soho, it's okay, I just wasn't particularly a fan of it too much. Mexico Soul, I think I did have a bottle of that, I can't remember. I have to check, but that's since gone. 9.0 again is one of the staples of the Zara house of fragrances, but not on sale just there. Violet Leather, again, we've spoken about that so many times. And there we have it, guys. Then they've gone into some new elements in respect of the candles, which I have not actually been, obviously not been in stores. I've not been into the store now probably for at least a month. So, you know, with all that's going on with the COVID-19. So these could be interesting. I've not done any reviews of candles as yet. I don't really know how much of a incentive I would have to spend £16 on a candle like that if I don't particularly like the fragrance. I know Creed sell candles, I know German fragrances sell these candles and everything else, but ultimately, guys, it is what it is. It is what it is. So there's some fragrances there that you can have a look at. I'm going to put some probably some other queries up. Some other queries that I do in my poll that I do on YouTube. So we'll see what happens with that, and then from there, guys, thank you very much for the comments, likes, subscriptions. If this helps save you some time and some money, please do not forget to give the channel a give the video a like, and also do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon on the next video. Yeah, it is what it is, guys. Ciao.